Volume 2, Rank, Petitions, and the Administration of Heaven. Scroll 10, Organizational Structure of the Pure Microcosmic Cosmos. 1. Opening Overview. Scroll 10 stands as the last gate of the opening series, the point where cosmology hardens into law. Everything before this, cosmic diagrams, thunder hierarchies, talismanic structures, summoning protocols, describes the machinery of the universe. But none of that machinery moves unless the celestial administration authorizes it. Thunder does not act because a practitioner is enthusiastic. It acts because the heavens recognize the practitioner's rank. This scroll is therefore the definitive roster of spiritual offices within the pure microcosmic cosmos. It is the classification system of legitimacy. Here, rank is not symbolic. It is literal metaphysics. In the ancient thunder tradition, the universe is not a free-for-all of energies and spirits. It is a disciplined hierarchy. Every function has an office. Every spirit has a supervisor. Every act has a required credential. A practitioner without registration is simply unheard in the celestial courts. Scroll 10 introduces the reader to the 5 pure heavens that structure the thunder universe. The heaven of pure subtlety. The heaven of sacred treasure. The heaven of great scarlet radiance. The heaven of celestial governance. The heaven of imperial numinous sovereignty. These are not physical locations, but high-frequency fields, layers of resonance that sort beings, offices, and powers according to spiritual refinement. To ascend within these heavens does not mean climbing like a bureaucrat seeking promotion. It means your virtue, clarity, and ritual competence have sharpened to the point where heaven recognizes you as aligned with a higher order of responsibility. Thus, Scroll 10 is the cosmic resume architecture of the thunder tradition. It defines who you are before heaven, what authority you can legitimately wield, what spirits are obligated to answer you, and what scope of ritual action you possess. After the thunder cosmologies of the previous books, this concluding scroll provides the administrative skeleton that makes the entire system real. Ritual without authority is noise. Commands without recognition are fantasies. Power without position is an empty gesture. This scroll closes the foundational sequence precisely because it proves a point many modern readers dislike, but all ancient masters insisted upon. The thunder world is legal. Spirits respond to rank, not charisma. Talismans answer to office, not improvisation. The celestial realm is structured, supervised, and accountable. Scroll 10 is not an appendix. It is the seal at the end of the mandate. It transforms personal cultivation into public responsibility. It reveals that to practice thunder is to stand within the administration of heaven, not as a self-appointed mystic, but as a recognized officer within a cosmic state. And it reminds the reader of one uncompromising truth. Authority is never self-declared. It is granted, recognized, and upheld by the heavens themselves. 2. Structure of the heavenly bureaucracy. To understand the rank system outlined in Scroll 10, the reader must first grasp the architecture of the heavens themselves. The thunder tradition does not operate in an undifferentiated celestial void. It functions within a layered cosmic administration, each heaven forming a distinct resonance field with its own officers, laws, and jurisdictions. These 5 heavens are the columns of the pure microcosmic cosmos. They do not float above the world like distant stars. They permeate it as structural frequencies, sorting powers and authorities according to their nature. 1. The heaven of pure subtlety. Root of pure vibration. This is the first heaven, the foundation of primordial command. In this realm, vibration is not metaphor, but agency. Every thunder rite derives its validity from this level because all commands originate in pure, undistorted motion. Practitioners aligned with this heaven do not merely speak incantations. They resonate with the primal tone from which all thunder authority emerges. This is the primary heaven of the thunder tradition, because thunder itself is the articulation of pure movement. To function within thunder is to draw from this root. 2. The heaven of sacred treasure, the field of spiritual resonance. The second heaven is the realm of sacred treasure, not material treasure, but stored spiritual potency. Here lie the archetypal patterns behind talismanic law, scriptural authority, and ritual transmission. This heaven governs the legitimacy of texts, symbols, seals, and ritual formulas. When a practitioner draws a talisman, calls a divine name, or cites a ritual scripture, it is this realm that determines whether the action carries weight or collapses into empty gesture. It is the domain where spiritual pattern becomes legal document. 3. The heaven of great scarlet radiance, the furnace of divine fire. The third heaven is the realm of spirit fire. Here, vitality is not the warmth of life, but the ignition of divine intention. All actions that require intensity, resolve, or purification draw their power from this level. In the thunder tradition, many rites demand more than recognition. They demand fire. This heaven provides the fuel for transformation, the blaze that burns through obstruction and reveals truth. It is the heaven where force becomes luminous. 4. The heaven of celestial governance, the administrative heaven. The fourth heaven is the realm of governance. Here the cosmic administration is explicit: offices, bureaus, registers, and celestial ministries. It is the heaven that orders the stars, assigns destinies, regulates the flow of natural law, and oversees the conduct of spiritual officials. Thunder practitioners who rise into this resonance do not simply wield power. They become participants in celestial administration. Their actions are reviewed, recorded, and integrated into the larger governance of the cosmos. This heaven is the precedent for every bureaucratic structure on Earth. A reminder that order is not human invention, but cosmic inheritance. 5. The heaven of imperial numinous sovereignty, the cosmic court. The fifth heaven is the imperial court of the universe. Here, sovereignty is not symbolic. It is the organizing principle of destiny itself. This realm sets the mandates under which all other heavens operate. When a practitioner reaches resonance with this level, they are not merely obeying cosmic law. They are harmonizing with the source from which cosmic law arises. Authority at this tier is not granted lightly. Only beings who embody both wisdom and responsibility may approach it. The 4 pillars of advancement. Movement through these heavens is not automatic. It is earned through 4 intertwined qualities: attainment, inner clarity, the ability to perceive truth without distortion, virtue, moral resonance, the alignment of intention with integrity, ritual competence, the technical precision required to operate celestial methods without error, merit, accumulated service, the record of beneficial actions within the cosmic order. Advancement does not mean ambition. It means the heavens themselves recognize that a practitioner's field has matured enough to bear responsibility. Why administration appears at the end. Scroll. 10 concludes the first series because the Thunder tradition is fundamentally legal. The universe does not operate on enthusiasm or improvisation. It operates on order. Spirits respond only to recognized officers. Talismans activate only for those inscribed in proper registers. Rituals function only when the practitioner is in lawful alignment with the cosmic office that governs the action. In this light, the entire purpose of Scroll 10 becomes obvious: to reveal that power without position is illusion. The heavens do not acknowledge self-appointed mystics. They acknowledge officials. This is why administration stands as the final teaching. It is the seal of legitimacy, the completion of authority, and the gate through which all real thunder work must pass. 3. The initiate level. Before the celestial administration recognizes a practitioner as an officer, inspector, envoy, or minister, there is a more fragile stage of affiliation, a first glimmer of acknowledgement, a faint signal that heaven has noticed the practitioner's presence. This beginning state is called the microsign, the smallest possible trace of registration within the cosmic bureaucracy. In human terms, it is the equivalent of being issued an identification number before any training or assignment. In cosmic terms, it is heaven's way of saying, you exist within the registry, but you do not yet act within it. The Thunder tradition identifies 5 such micro-sign designations, each linked to one of the great resonance fields of the pure microcosmic universe. Initiate of the heaven of celestial treasure. Initiate of the heaven of sacred treasure. Initiate of the heaven of divine treasure. Initiate of the heaven of grand subtlety. Initiate of the heaven of imperial numinous sovereignty. These titles sound lofty, but their meaning is humble. The practitioner has taken on the smallest badge of alignment with that particular heaven. Nothing more. These are not offices, not ranks, not seats of power. They are simply acknowledgments that the individual has been detected by the resonance field of a given realm. The word microsign captures this perfectly. A seed-level signal, the embryonic mark of potential. Every practitioner, without exception, begins here. Thunder masters, ritual savants, talismanic prodigies, it does not matter. Talent has no legal force in the celestial state. The heavens respond not to promise but to registration, and the first registration is always microsign status. This ensures that the path remains grounded, lawful, and equal. One cannot bypass the beginning, just as one cannot skip the foundation of a building and expect the upper floors to stand. These 5 initiate designations are tied to different cosmic functions. The heaven of celestial treasure relates to primordial command. The heaven of sacred treasure governs talismanic law. The heaven of divine treasure concerns spirit power. The heaven of grand subtlety supervises the celestial government, and the heaven of imperial numinous sovereignty oversees destiny itself. To be a microsign initiate under any of these heavens means that one's foundational alignment leans toward that type of work. It is the earliest hint of vocation. Yet no matter which heaven issues the microsign, the meaning remains the same. The practitioner is now visible. They have stepped into the outermost courtyard of the cosmic administration. They are neither empowered nor authorized, but they have been acknowledged. The great bureaucracy has turned its gaze upon them, not in reward, but in recognition. This is the beginning of all heavenly rank. It is quiet, humbling, and indispensable. 4. 9 grades to 1. The formal rank system. Thunder tradition does not hand out titles like candy. Rank is not decoration, not a badge to flash on social media, and certainly not a manifestation level. It is a functional bureaucracy, modeled deliberately after the old imperial ministries. Clear hierarchy, clear accountability, and clear privilege. You rise only when heaven recognizes that your field, conduct, and resonance are stable enough not to blow you up, or anyone around you. This system, stretching from the 9th grade up to the 1st, is the scaffold through which a practitioner learns to transmit, command, supervise, and eventually co-govern spiritual forces. Every rank marks a deeper alignment between the personal spirit field and the cosmic administration that oversees order, justice, and the movement of thunder. Below is the full ladder, what each grade means, what privileges it grants, the constraints it imposes, and how advancement actually happens. 1. Ninth grade, the officer of direction. This is the entry point, the front door, the lowest rung of the entire structure. The ninth grade practitioner is an officer of direction, someone allowed to relay heavenly command but not originate it. They repeat what is given. They do not improvise. Administrative analog, comparable to a probationary officer in a government bureau, allowed inside the building but not trusted with sensitive files. Ritual privilege. They may transmit simple ritual commands, recite basic summons, and operate low-risk talismanic procedures. Nothing involving weather, punitive spirits, or exorcistic force is accessible at this point. Limitations. They have no authority to modify commands. Their field is not yet stable. They are still more student than officer. Advancement. Heaven watches for correctness, not brilliance. Staying aligned, obeying instructions, and not taking shortcuts earns the first quiet approvals that nudge a practitioner toward the next grade. Thunder relevance. This rank teaches the practitioner to carry the current without distortion. How they handle small transmissions determines whether they will ever be entrusted with real thunder power. 2. Eighth grade, the true adept. This is the first level where inner realization matters. The heart is clear enough, the mind steady enough, that ritual form begins to resonate. But the clarity is still internal and not yet efficient in the outer world. Administrative analog, equivalent to a junior scholar official, recognized for inner understanding but not yet proven through administration. Ritual privilege. They may perform internal rites, personal purification ceremonies, and small spirit communication tasks. A few basic talismans may now respond more strongly to their field. Limitations. Their clarity is not yet stable. Under strong ritual pressure, especially thunder rites, they can wobble or spiral. The cosmos has seen many overconfident adepts burn themselves here. Advancement. A practitioner rises by demonstrating that clarity translates into action, not just theory. Heaven is practical. Thunder relevance. The eighth grade introduces the foundation of thunder practice. Without internal luminosity, external force turns chaotic. This is where practitioners learn the difference between inner realization and outward efficacy. 3. Seventh grade, the administrator of ritual law. At the seventh grade, a practitioner becomes an administrator, not merely a participant. They are trusted with the principles behind rites, the mechanics of cosmic law, and the archives that describe hidden regulations. Administrative analog, comparable to a bureau administrator or judicial officer, someone responsible for the correct interpretation of law. Ritual privilege, access to restricted texts, formula collections, and talisman sets normally sealed away. They can oversee minor rituals performed by others. Limitations. Authority remains limited to the interpretive level. They administer law. They do not yet enforce it at cosmic scale. Advancement. One moves forward by demonstrating that they understand not only the words of ritual law, but its spirit, and can avoid bending it for personal gain. Thunder relevance. Thunder practice depends on exact, legal correctness. Misreading a formula or misapplying a seal can produce catastrophic blowback. Seventh grade practitioners learn precision or perish. 4. Sixth grade, the immortal officer. The sixth grade marks the first entry into immortal rank, but not in the naive modern sense of living forever. Immortal here means beyond ordinary fate, not beyond death. The practitioner's spirit field no longer behaves like an unrefined mortal soul. It starts to resonate as a stabilized spiritual official. Administrative analog. a high-level officer whose decisions carry weight beyond their local office. Ritual privilege. They may now command certain classes of spirits, initiate mid-level exorcistic procedures, and conduct rites that influence karmic alignment. Limitations. Their influence is spiritual, not cosmological. They cannot alter major destinies, initiate thunder punishments, or command weather spirits. Advancement. Heaven promotes when the practitioner shows consistency under pressure, maintaining clarity during conflict, and resisting ego inflation as abilities grow. Thunder relevance. This is the first rank where the practitioner's field is strong enough to hold thunder energy without immediate collapse. It is a threshold where real danger and real possibility start to meet. 5. Fifth grade, the offices of 100 functions. The fifth grade is a world unto itself. Here lies a massive expansion of roles, over 100 distinct offices. This is where the Thunder universe shows its true nature, a functional cosmos with specialized spirits and responsibilities. Why the enormous list? Because Thunder tradition understands the universe not as a vague mystical glow, but as a network of specific vibrational duties. Each title names an exact function. Examples: deep truth, conduction, transmitting the resonance of profound truth where clarity is needed. Subtle mystery. Conduction, carrying the hidden undercurrents of cosmic movement. Inspector of karmic origin, examining the roots of karmic entanglements. Deep spirit investigator, tracing disturbances in the spiritual field. Primordial truth envoy, transmitting the original resonance of cosmic order. The naming system itself is a teaching. Words like penetration indicate the degree of depth or reach. Terms like truth, mystery, light, subtlety, pattern reveal the type of cosmic resonance involved. The ending, envoy, or functionary, marks the role, not a ruler, but a delegated agent. Administrative analog. Comparable to the vast middle ranks of imperial ministries, clerks, inspectors, envoys, auditors, and special purpose agents. Ritual privilege. Practitioners of this rank can now conduct advanced exorcistic rites, inspect karmic conditions, communicate with specialized spirit agencies, perform mid-scale thunder petitions, and transmit classified talismanic signatures. Limitations. Despite the impressive breadth, they remain servants of higher authority. They execute commands. They do not shape policy. Advancement. By demonstrating accurate execution across multiple functional domains. The fifth grade is endurance training for the soul. Thunder relevance. This is the operational heart of thunder magic. Whether it is calling storm spirits, cutting through malevolent entities, or transmitting lineage thunder seals, fifth grade officials do the real work while higher ranks oversee strategy. 6. Fourth grade, the supervisory ministers. The fourth grade introduces the supervisory system of the Thunder universe. These officials oversee the sprawling fifth-rank offices, ensuring that every envoy stays aligned with cosmic order. Their titles reflect the three great channels. The left channel, associated with yin administration, subtle correction, and internal harmony. The right channel, associated with yang administration, enforcement, and external order. The central axis, associated with truth administration, ensuring that neither side dominates. Administrative analog, comparable to Han Dynasty ministers overseeing multiple bureaus. Ritual privilege. These officers can authorize or deny thunder requests, supervise ritual assemblies, and correct misaligned spirit forces. Limitations. They do not yet influence cosmic decision-making. They supervise implementation. Advancement. Heaven promotes when they demonstrate both discernment and restraint. Rare qualities when dealing with spiritual power. Thunder relevance. Thunder practice at this level becomes supervisory. Practitioners no longer act alone. They manage spirit forces the way a seasoned commander oversees troops. 7. Third grade, the High Ministers. This rank marks entry into the senior ministerial level. A third-grade officer is entrusted with major responsibilities, resolving crises, adjudicating difficult cases, and coordinating large-scale ritual events. Administrative analog, equivalent to a top minister of state, someone who can negotiate between powerful factions and maintain order. Ritual privilege, authority to intervene in severe hauntings, major karmic entanglements, or wide-ranging energetic disturbances. They can lead thunder, summoning rites that involve multiple spirit agencies. Limitations. Their purview remains planetary or regional. They do not yet participate in cosmic governance. Advancement. Only through great merit, actions that restore order on a major scale. Heaven does not hand out this rank for personal meditation or minor ritual success. Thunder relevance. Thunder rites become strategic. They no longer act as a specialist. They act as a commander of commanders. 8. Second grade, the upper advisors. The second grade is the gateway into true cosmic administration. Here, the practitioner becomes a diplomat between humanity and heaven. They participate in decisions, not merely react to them. Administrative analog, comparable to chief advisors in the imperial court who influence the emperor's decisions. Ritual privilege. They may co-author thunder petitions, negotiate karmic adjustments, and oversee rites that affect entire regions or communities. Limitations. They do not rule. They advise. They cannot override cosmic principles. Advancement. Heaven raises such an officer only when they demonstrate that they can hold both power and humility without compromise. Thunder relevance. At this level, thunder work becomes governance, not technique. The practitioner participates in shaping how thunder force is allocated across human and non-human realms. 9. First grade, the Supreme Steward. The first grade is the summit of human rank. The practitioner becomes the chief steward of cosmic administration under the three pure sovereigns. Administrative analog, equivalent to the prime minister of all spiritual affairs, except the employer is heaven itself. Ritual privilege, authority to oversee entire sectors of cosmic operation, karmic flow, spiritual justice, thunder deployment, and high-tier talismanic transmission. Limitations. Only one. They remain human. Mortality sets the outer boundary of their function. Advancement. This rank is not earned so much as revealed. The natural flowering of a spirit that has aligned itself with the entire cosmos. Thunder relevance. Thunder becomes not a technique, but an extension of the practitioner's own field. Their voice and the thunder voice begin to converge. 10. The highest rank, reserved for celestials. Above the first grade lies the non-human tier, beings not bound by mortal fate, lifespan, or karmic structure. Humans cannot step here. Its purpose is simple, a reminder of hierarchy and humility. There will always be forces older, vaster, and more complete. The practitioner can approach, collaborate, and resonate, but not replace. 5. The female offices, the Yin administration. The female offices form an entire parallel branch of cosmic administration, often misunderstood in the modern world as supportive or secondary. That is wrong. These offices are not lesser ranks. They are a separate sphere with different responsibilities, rooted in the yin dimension of cosmic function. If the thunder bureaucracy is the visible lightning, the female offices are the hidden current that keeps the entire system from burning itself to ash. Where the male side ranks emphasize command, enforcement, and the transmission of thunder authority, the female side ranks govern resonance, refinement, and balance. They do not compete with the Thunder officers. They complement and complete them. Without the Yin administration, Thunder practice would be a purely explosive art, powerful but unstable, brilliant but destructive. The female offices specialize in 5 essential functions. Nurturing. They cultivate and stabilize the practitioner's spirit field when it is undergoing transformation. Many rites that strengthen vitality, restore clarity, or settle psychic turbulence are rooted in this branch. Refining. The Yin administration governs the subtle processes that polish power. Raw thunder force is loud, jagged, and overwhelming. Yin refinement smooths it, making it usable without causing internal damage or provoking unintended spirit reactions. Harmonizing. These offices maintain equilibrium between conflicting forces, internal and external, human and spirit, past karma and present action. Their work prevents thunder rites from destabilizing the practitioner's emotional or energetic structure. Mediating. When rituals involve negotiation between spirits, ancestors, natural forces, or karmic threads, the Yin offices take precedence. Their resonance is soft but firm, able to de-escalate and realign without force. Balancing excess yang. Thunder practice is inherently yang, intense, sharp, directive. The female offices provide its counterweight, ensuring that power is tempered by wisdom. They are the cooling hearth that allows the forge to operate without melting itself. Daoist cosmology always integrates Yin administration alongside Yang not as an afterthought, but as a structural necessity. A fully aligned practitioner works with both. The Thunder officer who ignores the female offices becomes reckless. The Yin adept who neglects Thunder becomes overly passive. True authority arises only when these two administrations interlock like the two halves of a seal, each shaping the other, neither complete alone. In this sense, the female offices are not the other side of the story. They are the ground upon which the entire cosmic story stands. 6. The ritual service rank, merit by offering. The ritual service ranks belong to the tradition of Yellow Register merit practice, rites dedicated to salvation, deliverance, purification, and karmic renewal. Unlike the Thunder ranks, which reflect spiritual authority and resonance, these ranks measure merit by ritual, the accumulation of virtue through service, offering, and liturgical action. Where the Thunder bureaucracy is concerned with command and enforcement, the ritual service hierarchy is concerned with restoration. These ranks certify that a practitioner has completed the cycles of offerings, petitions, chantings, and merit-led rituals that repair karmic entanglements for the living and the dead. Their power arises from compassionate labor, not command presence. A practitioner holding ritual service rank is recognized by heaven not for their ability to direct spirits, but for their willingness to carry out the unglamorous work, feeding hungry souls, cleansing polluted spaces, dissolving ancestral grievances, and performing the daily rites that keep families, communities, and spirit lineages stable. Advancement here is straightforward. Each successful, properly aligned service adds to the practitioner's spiritual record. When the register shows a consistent pattern of sincerity, precision, and moral clarity, heaven lifts the practitioner to higher ritual grade. These ranks function as a reminder. Not all authority is gained through force or brilliance. Some is earned through patient service, through lighting a lamp for others until the world grows brighter. 7. The auxiliary ranks, attendants and assistants. Auxiliary ranks form the bridge between novice and full ritual or Thunder officer. They are the junior clergy, the attendants, the scripture keepers, the ritual assistants who make the entire system function smoothly. They do not possess high authority, but they are indispensable. An auxiliary ranked practitioner learns the craft from the ground up, preparing ritual spaces, maintaining purity protocols, chanting foundational scriptures, managing offerings, carrying seals and registers, and supporting senior officers during complex ceremonies. In modern terms, they are the staff that keep the temple running while the ministers conduct affairs of state. These ranks also serve a protective purpose. No one is thrown directly into high-level thunder work or karmic rites. Auxiliary status allows the practitioner to build discipline, stability, and technical accuracy without risk of spiritual overload. The cosmos would rather see a practitioner sweep the altar correctly than attempt a summoning incorrectly. Heaven recognizes auxiliary officers for reliability, steadiness, and humility. Advancement does not come from dramatic displays. It comes from consistency, readiness, and willingness to shoulder necessary tasks without complaint. In the cosmic bureaucracy, the attendants are not lesser. They are the foundation. Without them, no ritual could be conducted safely, no scripture preserved, no lineage maintained. Their presence affirms a core truth of Daoist administration. Even the smallest role has cosmic significance when performed with sincerity and precision. 8. The methodological offices, permits of power. The methodological offices represent one of the most important features of the entire Thunder bureaucracy: licensed specialization. These offices are not ranks, not titles, and not badges of seniority. They are authority permits, official recognition that a practitioner is allowed to operate within one of the classical Daoist ritual systems. Each methodological office corresponds to a major ritual lineage, and receiving its endorsement means heaven acknowledges the practitioner is competent, safe, and aligned enough to handle that system's mechanics without causing karmic or spiritual damage. Below are the key methodological authorities. The clear, subtle method. Authority to practice rites emphasizing precision, clarity, and subtle resonance. The U-surplus method. Authorization for earth-aligned rites, stabilizing fields and grounding dangerous forces. The Great Scarlet Method permits the practitioner to wield rites rooted in fire, purification, and karmic incision. The Heavenly Treasure Method. Access to high celestial petitions and upper realm harmonization practice. The Numinous Treasure Method. Authority over rites of deep transformation, including refinement of spirit and essence. The Divine Treasure Method. Permission to perform high-impact spiritual operations requiring exact alignment. The Perfect Penetration Method. Access to deep truth rites concerning the hidden order of the cosmos. The Mysterious Penetration Method. Authority for rites that address subtle karmic threads and inner cosmology. The Spirit Penetration Method. Certified ability to work with dynamic, entity-based ritual systems. The Yellow Register Method. License to perform salvation rites and karmic merit rituals. The Divine Firmament Method. Authority to wield outer thunder systems and early celestial thunder practices. Each method is not simply a curriculum. It is an operative universe with its own spirits, documents, seals, procedures, and cosmological logic. Without a methodological office, a practitioner attempting these rites is acting without license, like a civilian forging the signature of a government minister. The bureaucratic scheme exists for a reason. It prevents misuse. Ritual systems can be dangerous, especially those involving thunder, karmic revision, or spirit coercion. It ensures cosmic order. Permissions maintain balance across realms, preventing accidental infringements. It anchors responsibility. A licensed practitioner knows which methods they are accountable for, and heaven knows whom to correct if something goes wrong. In thunder practice, power is meaningless without authorization, and authorization is meaningless without methodological clarity. These offices ensure that every action, small or great, unfolds within lawful resonance. 9. Final reflection. The crown of the first 10 scrolls. The 10th scroll stands as the crown of the first 10 scrolls because it reveals the spine of the thunder tradition. Power without position is illusion. Anyone can memorize incantations or swing around talismans. Without rank, license, and cosmic legitimacy, none of it means anything. Thunder work is not raw mysticism. It is administration. A practitioner does not channel thunder. They are appointed to transmit it. They do not summon spirits. They file proper petitions, and those petitions are approved, denied, or redirected by a cosmic bureaucracy that has existed long before any lineage on Earth. This scroll makes the structure unmistakable. Thunder work is fundamentally legalistic. Cosmic law determines what may be attempted. Cosmic documents authorize the action. Cosmic offices execute the command. Cosmic accountability follows every operation. If something goes wrong, heaven knows exactly where the fault lies: the practitioner, the method, or the intent. This orderliness is not oppressive. It is what makes thunder work safe. A universe without law is a universe where a single mistake can ruin a lineage. By the end of this scroll, the reader understands a hard truth the ancients never sugarcoated. You do not rise by ambition. You rise by resonance. Alignment, humility, stability, and correctness matter far more than personal intensity or charisma. The thunder practitioner does not climb a ladder of power. They enter deeper and deeper layers of responsibility. Each rank is not a crown, but a weight. Each permit is not a trophy, but a binding. And so the teaching ends where thunder truly begins. To study thunder is to join the administration of heaven, not by ambition, but by resonance. Historical note: Heavenly administration and Tangsong bureaucracy. The rank ladder and administrative structures described in Scroll 10 did not appear in a vacuum. They stand in direct conversation with the bureaucratic world of the Tang and Song empires, when the great Daoist liturgies of thunder and celestial administration were formed and refined. The celestial hierarchy mirrors imperial government on purpose. That mirroring is not a poetic analogy. It is a structural choice. In the Tang and Song courts, power was organized through clear ranks, ministries, and offices. Officials held graded titles from the lowest functionaries up to grand counselors, with each grade defining what documents they could sign, what orders they could issue, and which matters they were allowed to touch. This is exactly how Scroll 10 arranges the thunder ranks. From the 9th grade, Officer of Direction, up to the 1st grade, Supreme Steward, each level defines scope of action, not spiritual status. The message is the same in both worlds. Without rank, you do not act. With rank, you are accountable. The Tangsong state ran on paperwork. Memorials, edicts, registers, ledgers of grain, tax, and population were the bloodstream of the empire. A provincial official did not simply ask the throne for help. He submitted a memorial in a recognized format, addressed to specific offices, passed through reviewing bureaus, and waited for a written response. Scrolls 10 and 11 adopt that same logic for heavenly communication. A petition is not an emotional prayer. It is a memorial. It has an opening formula that identifies the sender, a clear address to supervisory and auditing offices, a statement of function, and a closing that hands the case upward. The celestial documents are built like Tangsong state papers because the same mentality of order is at work. The parallel extends to supervision and discipline. In the imperial state, the censorate and other supervisory organs watched officials, reviewed their conduct, and investigated abuse. An official's power was never free. It was always watched from above. Scroll 10's supervisory grades and auditing offices reflect the same principle. Thunder officers are not lone sorcerers. They are more like magistrates and inspectors who know that their every act is recorded in higher registers. The idea that heaven knows exactly where the fault lies would have made immediate sense to any Tang or Song official used to performance evaluations and regular audits. The 9-grade ladder itself also echoes the long history of graded officialdom. Earlier dynasties had already established 9-rank systems for civil and military titles. By the Song, promotion was linked to exam success, proven ability, and accumulated record. Scroll 10 follows the same pattern at a spiritual level. Advancement is not based on charisma, dramatic visions, or personal claims. It comes from resonance, correctness, and accumulated merit. The bureaucracy of heaven is presented as cleaner and less corrupt than its human counterpart, but the skeleton is the same. Clear grades, defined privileges, and a slow climb. Even the distinction between thunder offices, female, yin offices, ritual service ranks, and auxiliary staff has an imperial echo. Court women, palace staff, ritual specialists, clerks, and attendants all formed parallel but essential systems alongside the visible male officialdom. The text does not treat the yin administration or auxiliary ranks as ornamental. They resemble the often invisible but absolutely necessary support structures that kept an empire functioning. Archivists, record keepers, palace stewards, and ritual service staff. Without them, nothing moves. The Daoist corpus simply says the quiet part out loud. Heaven works the same way. Finally, the insistence that methods require licenses and permits, the methodological offices, is a direct spiritual analog to the imperial system of holding a post. In Tang and Song practice, you could not simply ride into a district and announce yourself as its magistrate. You needed a sealed appointment, your name on the roster, and your document in the archives. Scroll 10 says the same about major ritual systems. You do not simply take up thunder methods, treasure methods, or yellow register work because you feel called. You operate them only when heaven has issued the equivalent of an appointment document. Understanding this historical background matters because it clears away modern romanticism. The thunder bureaucracy is not an eccentric fantasy world. It is a spiritualization of the only serious model of order the compilers knew, the imperial state. The Daoist masters took that machinery, cleaned it of corruption, projected it into the cosmic scale, and said, "This is how heaven keeps the universe from falling apart." Read this way. Scroll 10 is not just a list of titles. It is a statement that the cosmos is governed, not chaotic, that power is licensed, not self-declared, and that real authority, whether in a Tang ministry or a thunder altar, is always tied to rank, record, and responsibility.